So you want to write a book. Maybe you already started writing it. You've got notes and journals and pages out the wazoo of stuff that you've already written. But I want to caution you on something. In my experience, having written 17 books, authoring, being a contributing editor, ghostwriting, there's a common mistake I see a lot of authors make, especially when they're writing a book where they want to establish credibility, they want to establish their expertise in a certain industry. And that mistake is writing what you want to say, which is important, but leaving out what the reader needs to hear to take the next step. So the market research process that I bring to the ghostwriting and publishing table is one where I allow my clients to, yes, say what you need to say, get your message out there, but we also focus first on interviewing potential readers and the process of validating your book idea, studying your competitors, finding out what other books and other experts out there, what's resonating with their readership and what's not. So that way, before the first chapter is even written, or the last chapter is done and we're ready to go, you're in a position where you know it's going to resonate with people. One specific example of this is when, with one of my ghostwriting clients, we spent about 3 weeks the first month just focusing on interviewing potential customers. And we wrote up a sample chapter and we sent it off to a blog that has regular posts in his genre. And there's about 50,000 readers on it and whatnot. We sent off the chapter as an article to make sure it would resonate with people. And when it did, and we got glowing comments, people saying, wow, we need to see more of that stuff around here, we knew we were on the right track. Again, contrast that with a process that a lot of writers use, where you get out your pencil, get your paper, you got your keyboard, and you just start writing and see where it goes. I found that that's not really the recipe to write a book that people want to read. That's why I believe in starting with the market research processes first. And if you see the 4-step process here on this page, you notice that the first step has to do with compiling the content, start outlining the book. That's where the best practices of market research go. And it's not something that's your responsibility. If you have a ghostwriter, if you have somebody who's on the project working alongside with you, all you have to do is sit back and say, this is who I want to reach, this is how I want them to feel, this is the action I want to take after they've read my book, and here are the things I want to be in the book. So you don't necessarily have to worry about these things I'm talking about in terms of, including what your reader needs to read in the book and doing the other market research stuff. That is an advantage to having a ghostwriter who does all the heavy lifting for you, so you can get the finished book without the blood, sweat, tears, and various other bodily fluids that get you there. So whether you're in a position where your book is just an idea in your head right now, maybe you have, like I said, some notes, or maybe you've got the book mostly written. It just needs some organizing. It needs fleshing out in certain areas. Or maybe even you have content like, emails, articles, journal entries, for instance, that you've already written. You see them kind of blended together. If one of those 3 situations sounds like yours, then I would like to offer you something very special. Because writing a book or editing a entire manuscript, it is an investment. You deserve to know going in that you picked the right person. So I'm going to make it as easy for you as possible with my complimentary zero to manuscript mapping session. Think of this as a free 30-minute strategy session, except you get to walk away from our strategy session with a complete, professionally revised chapter's worth of content for your book. In other words, you get to test drive my entire 4-step process before having to commit. There's a very few, if any, ghostwriters and editors who are confident enough to do this. Now, the reason I want to offer this benefit to you is because you can know without spending a dime going into this process that you're going to love the finished product, aka your book, and that you won't be kicking yourself thinking, oh, I made a bad decision. I don't want that to be on the table for you, because writing a book is so personal. It's such an intimate activity to share your ideas and thoughts with the world, because as an author, you may be wondering throughout the process, is anybody going to like this? People are going to pay attention? People are going to want to read it? That's why I want to make this as risk-free as possible for you. Even if you don't have a chapter, to bring to the zero to manuscript mapping session, that's okay. Because a lot of authors that I meet, they start out writing their books with nothing but the ideas in their head and the recommendations from friends and colleagues that they've had for years where people tell them, you should write a book. So if that's you, that's not a problem. What you can do is go ahead and scroll down to where you see, the free Zero to Manuscript mapping session box, and go ahead and request the date and time, and we'll get you from Zero to Manuscript. My gift to you.